With only 2 more contracted appearances for Captain America in our future and a possible hint that Chris Evans will be hanging up his shield, we got to thinking, who would make the best follow-up Cap? I'm Roth Cornett, and this is Screen Junkies News. Hello, Internet! This afternoon, we were treated to a fairly surreal article from Esquire where we follow Chris Evans on a kind of reluctant skydiving adventure. This is now on my bucket list. That bizarre detail aside, the writer extrapolated that with Chris Evans' Captain America contract about to expire, we might be close to seeing the end of him as our Cap. This put us in the precarious position of choosing which of the 2 possible replacements should follow in Evans' boots. Bucky or Falcon or Spencer Gilbert is here with me to discuss as our premier Captain America expert. Yes?
Well, I'm a Chris Evans aficionado, sure. No, I love Chris Evans. I love Cap, and I am not ready to see either of them go.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. We have to be honest and say that this is sort of the question for Marvel fans and has been for a while. Will he or won't he? When he was first playing Captain America, he often seemed pretty reluctant, right?
Yeah, I think if I were in, Captain America, the first Avenger, I would also be like, I don't know, where's this going? But after Winter Soldier, I feel like he's really bought in. And, while I want to see more of him, if he doesn't feel like he has anything left, I guess if you love someone, let him go.
Yeah, set them free, and if they come back, they are Falcon. I believe that's the idiom that we were looking for. Yeah, it's funny because he did seem reluctant at first. You have to also weigh in the fact that he had been burned a little bit on Fantastic Four. That was horrible. That was bad. How would you rate that pun?
I would rate that pun Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Which was arguably better than the first movie. God. And potentially better than the last Fantastic. Hey, I have an argument. Silver Surfer.
Galactus was a fart cloud. Rob.
Galactus was a big fail, but Silver Surfer was arguably pretty cool.
He was technically in the movie.
He was in the movie, and he was not entirely uncool.
We're talking Chris Evans here, Rob.
Let's talk Chris Evans. He has come out sort of in the last year or so and seemed, if not enthusiastically saying he's definitely going to continue on after his contract is complete, which it is, in fact. He has 2 more appearances as Captain America left in Infinity War and the follow-up, Avengers 4, which is as yet untitled. Mm-hmm. Will he or won't he continue? He's sort of gone back and forth. He's gone back and said, I was such an a-hole for acting so hesitant. Like, these movies are great. They have allowed me to open movies internationally as a director. They've given him a lot, and he's certainly grateful. So I think it becomes a question of how much will it take for him to continue, and then does Marvel really need him to continue?
Well, I think those are 2 separate questions, and they're kind of related because what it's going to take for him to continue, I think this guy cares about making good movies. Clearly, he's got all the money he's ever going to need, and he cares about being an actor. That's why he does weird indie movies, why he does something like Snowpiercer.
It's such a great movie.
Yeah, because he cares about quality, and he cares about not looking like an idiot. So as long as Marvel is reciprocating, I think he'll stay on. But if they go the way of franchise fatigue and they stop bringing original things to the table, he has no reason to stick around.
What if that was just the one additional clause in the contract renewal? Don't make me look like an idiot. Yeah. But he knows, and that's what he's gone on to say. He's like, listen, Marvel is making great movies. And I remember I was fortunate enough I got to do a set visit for Avengers Age of Ultron.
He
came in with the scummy reporters that we are, and he sat down and we brought up Winter Soldier. He's like, I really like this one. And it was a very raw, honest moment where you could tell that he was enthusiastic about what the Russo brothers were doing for that character. They certainly have done a great job with the Captain America films, and that he was now excited about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was amenable to the
I can't imagine that waned after doing Civil War.
Right.
But the thing is isn't Robert Downey Jr.'s contract up too right around this time?
And and that's where it gets really tricky, because the question, I think, was a creative question for Chris Evans, but I think also for the rest of the cast, particularly, and this is so like inside baseball, and we don't have to go down this rabbit hole too much, but Ike Perlmutter, who was sort of the money guy at Marvel before, and really had a tight rein on the contracts and was not paying the talent.
He was pushing
much.
the Inhumans. I remember him.
Yeah, and he wasn't. I mean, in if you think about how much money these movies are making, they really weren't getting compensated comparably. I think that was also an issue. So it's like, how much money do they want to spend? They're paying Downey a ton. I believe it's an entire boat of cash.
One boat of cash, yes.
Yes.
He gets to keep the boat too.
And he gets the yacht, which is very nice for him. Yeah, it's a tricky thing because they are also setting up, as they've done with the comics, a whole new set of Avengers, right?
Yes.
That we could potentially move forward with after Infinity War and Avengers 4.
And from the comics, they've shown that that can work, but I don't know about, at the end of Age of Ultron, when they say, here's the new Avengers, everyone went, okay. I'm not as excited about watching Scarlet Witch and Vision take on Thanos. Like, I don't care.
I want that. Marvel has talked about the fact that they're doing genre movies as comic book movies. I want the rom-com of Scarlet Witch and Vision bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want him in sweaters and trying to make her borscht.
They fight, other F word.
Yeah,
I get it.
Exactly. It's because to me, Vision was one of the best parts of Ultron. Well, it was
a nice subplot.
I love Vision, yeah.
Yeah. So he's no Captain America.
But he's no Captain America, and so they've sort of set up, the obvious substitutes for him are for Bucky, Winter Soldier, to become Cap, right? Which is, I think, what a lot of us thought they were headed towards, starting with Winter Soldier. But has Sebastian Stan really become important enough to the fan base?
Well, he could. They haven't really given him enough to do yet that would make him worthy of taking the Cap mantle. And I don't mean that by just putting on the uniform and grabbing the shield. That's one thing. It could be Bucky, it could be Falcon. Either one could technically put on the uniform and we'd be fine with it. But the void that Cap leaves, if Chris Evans does leave, is who is the leader and the moral core of the Avengers and of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We need someone that we can relate to, that we can cheer for, that everybody can get behind. And that's not going to be Bucky or Falcon. I mean, no matter who takes on the mantle.
Right. So the other choice, seemingly, and I think a lot of people thought could be Falcon, which is Anthony Mackie, who I happen to adore.
Yeah, but he's too quippy. Someone needs to be the straight man who just holds it down in the center and is not the funny one where everyone else is cracking jokes and is like more of a worldly, modern day person. You need that throwback to the age of comic books, to the Silver Age, where it was like, this is right, this is wrong, I'm making a stand.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Chris Evans, right, because although I love Anthony Mackie, I think he's great as Falcon and playing that sort of role of, he's so funny and he brings in a humorous edge. Kind of a nerd.
Yeah. But Falcon or Bucky would still be Falcon or Bucky in a Captain America suit. Neither of them would be Captain America.
But Bucky, I think on paper is kind of an interesting choice, right?
I guess because he's, the Brooklyn guy, but he's not the picked on kid that became, a superhero.
He's not, but it's a darker edge, because I think if you were to look at it from a thematic stance, then it's like Captain America, who I love. And I think Chris Evans has really embodied that. And I agree. It's so refreshing in a way to have that figure who is got so much integrity. He has no apology about it. He's not a cynical, he's not a cynical
exactly.
character.
And that's what I love, is taking that character and putting him in a darker world and seeing how he reacts to it. It's not the fact that Cap himself is dark. It's that he's in this corrupt place and he has to help us, the audience, make sense of it all. And I don't really see that with Bucky, just because he spent the last few decades as a Soviet killing machine. Yeah,
no, Bucky is actually, he's more of like, Cap becomes the American vision of itself at its the highest ideals. And then he is, the Winter Soldier is like the dark underbelly of that. And then if he has to kind of become Cap and find that optimism in himself, that's kind of an interesting story to tell.
That would be an interesting arc. I have a candidate for who will become the spiritual Captain America, as in the leader of the Avengers and the person that everyone roots for, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Let's just, if we can work it out, let's get Tom Holland to stay around for 9 more movies and become the de facto leader of the Avengers and grow from a Spider teen to a real Spider-Man. And let's see Spider-Man. I know he's a teenager now, and that's awesome that we finally get the real high school one, but let's see him grow up, because he's already like that same kind of, aw shucks, go USA person that we all want to rally behind right now.
I think you're right. First of all, Tom Holland is so great in this role. He has
He's
that.
British, right?
He is British.
Damn it.
That's okay. He also does parkour. Does that make it better?
That's French.
Yeah. Well, they're European. Anyway, I do think he could stand in as that. You're right, because he has that innocence and that optimism and that hope. And it's reading in a very believable way from what we've seen from him so for the little that we saw of him in Civil War. So he could stand in as that character. I'm sure he's under contract for 200 films between the two of them. I believe it's officially
Great,
200.
I'll take that.
So he certainly could step in as that, or Marvel is left, I think, with the question of, do we want to double down and invest in these other Avengers and really, I mean, they've got still Black Panther coming. We've met Black Panther, but the solo movie is coming. They've got Captain Marvel coming.
Yeah, it could be Captain Marvel.
It could be Captain Marvel.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right.
I'd take Captain Carol Danvers.
You know what? We have landed exactly nowhere definitively. So I'm going to force you to choose a character right now. I'm going to steal yours and say, for now, Spider-Man is the bridge, but not the destination. And I feel like if they were planning to do the Winter Soldier as Cap, they're no longer planning to do it.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that the Winter Soldier will pick up the shield, but he's not going to be the leader of the Avengers.
Okay.
So I give this, I agree, they're going to give Spider-Man, I want Spider-Man to take on the helm, or the leader of the Avengers, but I think that they're going to blow everything up, and they're going to do a complete reboot after Phase 4.
Okay, so after Avengers 4, the as yet untitled, no more Chris Evans is what you're calling.
Yeah, no more Chris Evans.
No more Chris Evans, except he will be directing indie films that Spencer and I will go and enjoy.
Yeah, let him grow his beard out. Stop working out so hard, dude.
Yeah. No, keep working out. That's fine. All right. We want to know what you guys think. Who do you want to be the next Captain America? Do you want Chris Evans to say? Do you want Marvel to work it out for us? Let us know. Thank you for watching. Click here for more amazing Screen Junkies news. Like and subscribe below. And we better make this video good because I just promised a lot. Said it was amazing.